Hi there, and good afternoon, and welcome to our series that we're doing for the next 3 months. Is the most excellent question. This week we're dealing with the most important question in human life. I really believe this because it's a question that everybody asks. This question and its answer will totally bring us and humanity to life and living not just an existence, but living life. Yes, we exist. And that was the question from last week. Why do we exist? And I think we gave you a pretty decent answer. And if you'd like to, just contact us and I'll be happy to send it to you, okay? Um, Now we must deal with something. And what is the nature, the essence, and character of a being that created us and is there with us all the time, and that's God. We call out to God, but sometimes we only know about Him because somebody told us about Him, but do we really know Him? So we need to know what He is. Okay? So this week we're doing who is God and what is God? And that's the question for the whole week. We do this every day for 10 minutes. We left off yesterday with a statement, let's turn to the Bible. And I think the reason I left it there was because I said that there's only three places you can go to get answers, and one is inward, inside of you. The other one, obviously, is the Bible, right? Because that's the only place that it's written. And so, or we go to a seminar or a teaching, okay? So let's go on. Let's turn then to the Bible. And we're going to call today's session, There Were Two Trees. Though man turns to God in his time of need and despair, he may know about God, but may not know God. The most I want to make sure I go through my notes, okay, because it's important that you get the whole thing. The most revealing start right from the beginning in the Garden of Eden, and that was the very beginning. God took dirt or clay from the ground and formed man. And once he is happy with his work, okay, he then breathes life into the form, but not just life. He places in man a spirit, which we will call the spirit of man, and a man becomes a living being. Man now is alive with a body, a soul, and a spirit, which is very unique, as it is the very image of God. But then we have to ask a question, what is that image, right? Here's the first of an excellent question which we must come to terms with. And God made man in his image and likeness. It's obvious that it was not an outward appearance, okay? Skin color, hair, eyes color, physical makeup, right? Then we must include that God deposited in man his own, perhaps his own DNA, his essence and character, yet man was innocent as to evil and good, and man was not aware of his knowledge, so he could not judge, okay? So here's a guy who is innocent. Judging was and is a divine right, and as that, only God is able to make righteous judgments and decisions. It is only He that is all-knowing, that can be righteous and fair in judging every situation. Amen? And so, it's only God. Amen? Only God. There is another attribute that emerges from the divine, and that word is love. But not just love, but perfect love, unconditional love. Now, man is innocent, but recognizes God's great love for him. So he now enjoys his communion with God every day in the garden, every afternoon. Man and God walked together in the garden. They picked from the tree fruit, they picked flowers, they talked, they named the animals, right? Every day. Wow. Every day they talked together and spent time together. And God shared his love with them. And so God said, you know, man needs someone to love just as he himself needed other beings to share his love with. You know, God needed beings to share. He is love, so therefore he needed someone to share that love with. And so God stopped and put the man into a deep sleep and took a rib and created another being whose name was Eva, or Eve, okay, which is the word for woman. Now there was a male and a female now in the garden. There are two, but they are both made in God's image and likeness and only physically similar. God then told them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and take dominion over it, and rule over all the creatures which are upon the earth." And God said, "I am giving you every plant that bears seed and every kind of tree that bears fruit. They shall be yours for food." And then God tells Adam this, "From every tree of the garden you may freely eat. But from the tree of the knowledge," I want you to keep the word knowledge in your mind, okay? "Of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat from it you shall surely die." And here again, we're left with more questions. If God is the divine judge and righteous God, why then would he tempt man by placing a tree that will bring death? What if, I want you to ask a question, this is about questions. So what if, above I said that God is perfect love, unconditional love. And now we must come to a recognition that love must be free. Love cannot be coerced, controlled, manipulated, forced. Are you still with me? Or in absolutely no way cause the object of its love to reciprocate love except through self-determination and freedom. You cannot love on demand. So God could not demand love from Adam and Eve. Are you with me? No way. But what about the tree? And what about death? Well, we must recognize that God had also placed a tree called the tree of life in the same garden which man could eat of. Man was free to eat of every tree, but God's warning was, "The day you eat of it, you will surely die." Now, I think God said it in another way. And I would rather give God the credit than the written stuff, because I think God's own DNA tells us that. So here's what I think God really said to Adam and Eve. "I love you, and I want you to be free to decide. So let me warn you that the fruit of that tree is poison and causes death, so don't eat of it." I want that to sink in. "I love you, and I want you to be free to decide. So let me warn you that the fruit of that tree is poison and causes death. Don't eat of it." I love you, my children. I'm going to leave you there. I want you to meditate on that last part, because that's really, really the important part. Thank you again for watching. Please tune in tomorrow, okay? And for the next part of this series, which is who is God and what is God? Please remember let me tell you something. I want you to remember this as I close. We're not doing this for us. And the answers we give you are just our answers, or the answers we believe to be true. But we need your answer. What is your answer? How would you answer the question? Okay? How would you answer the question? Why did God do this? And what would he say? Amen? Because it's in us all coming together, okay, to bring life and truth to each other. All right? Those questions probably must be answered. So you may contact us anytime, okay? If you have any question, comment, please I don't know what they are. It doesn't matter because we want to hear yours. Okay? So if not, email us at ofbchurchmiami@gmail.com or call us 305-200-9089 or 786-332-1168. And be sure and tune in tomorrow at 1 o'clock. By the way, at 1:30 today, we will have this same question, this same talk in Spanish. So if you know somebody that doesn't speak English, and call them right now and say, listen, tune in to Facebook at Our Father's Place, or and it'll be in Spanish for you. Okay? Thank you for watching. May God bless you today.